Judith 10:3. And Judith pulled off the sackcloth which she had on, this clothing. She had ragdoll type of clothing on. They call it ragdoll nowadays, but I don't disrespect like that. But anyway, a lot of times the women with the not fat. If I see a beautiful decked out woman, I'm not really looking. These are most of the time demonic females. This, she looking pretty and stuff like that, but there's a demon. Well, you gonna figure it out once you get with her. What type of girl she is. Like, she gonna be one to walk around like this and stuff like that. Like, please look at me, see me. You know, you got guys that would love to have her walking around like this. I would not want that shit. I would want for you to be, well, not like that. You're too open. You're hiding me. Yep. Because if you at the job for Esau and he tells you you need to dress a certain way, you're gonna do it because you want that paycheck, so you're gonna do it. And he is your boss, so the authority is there. Anyway, she took the sackcloth clothing which she had on off of her, and put off the garment of her widowhood. You had widow garments, and washed her body all over with water, and anointed herself with precious ointment so she can smell good, and braided the hair of her head. In the other translations it said brushed her hair, which goes into this. If you have straight hair, you can brush your hair. Yeah, this is not really for brushing, my man. This is for braiding. This is combing. This is for combing. This is brush. Straight hair is brush. I don't know if you noticed it, but you don't brush woolly hair, or even this one. You don't brush that. It's stupid. You braid. And that is what she was doing. Can you brush it? Yeah. Good luck with that. But you can do it. You can jump off of a bridge if you wanted to. See if it hurts. See, with no water at the bottom. How about that? You can do it. You can do it if you can do anything you put your mind to. So anyway, so she put her tire on clothing, and so let me read on, and put on a tire upon it, which is, I think, the head cover. Yeah, a head covering. The tire upon her head. And put on her garments of gladness. She had garments of gladness. You had widowhood. You had garments of sackcloth, which is in the state of mourning, and stuff like that, wherewith she was clad during the life of Manasseh, her husband, before he died. Manasseh. So she had beautiful garment on, garment of gladness. And then she went out and stuff like that. But you can read the rest of yourself if you have the time. By the way, Judith was so beautiful that oh, she killed that guy, right? She killed him. Yeah, anyway, let me go on. So you had that one, and then you have this one. Wow, still full. Still no space. Genesis 38:14. And she, Tamar, put her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath, as we was reading in the tribe of the location of the tribe of Dan. Now, if I'm correct, there was Timnath that was from Judah or something like that was given unto Dan, or vice versa. I forgot. I don't know anymore. But there was one place that the Danites, they took it, they got it from Judah, something like that, something. So anyway, for she saw that Shelah was grown, which is Judah his son, the last one, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot. Why? Because she had covered her face. Now that doesn't mean that all women, that when they cover their face they're a whore. No. That means that certain type of clothing that they wear, certain type of clothing style that they would wear back in the days, you know it was a whore, like a harlot. You know, because you're looking at her like, oh, that's a hoe. And that's what he saw. He thought her to be a hoe because that's what she looked like one. She dressed like one. She didn't have her widow's garment. A widow's garment is a garment where you would know like, oh, her husband is dead. That's the type of clothing that they would wear. And everybody would know it, you know. And when you put on the garment of gladness, you know, you'd be like, oh, okay, she or she doesn't have a husband, or she's just, you know, just in a life, a period in her life to where she's, you know, obviously doing good. Judith, for example. Another one is here, Genesis 25:63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes. And when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. So she was not a hoe. So this is a different type of covering. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah. And she became his wife. They had sex. It's kind of crazy because they did it on site. and their family. So, but it's not sister, brother, and stuff like that. It's you are allowed to have children with your cousin. Rebecca is a descendant of it's the grandchild of Isaac, his father. Isaac, his father, is Abraham. Abraham, his brother, is Nahor. Here. Genesis. Oh, it's Genesis 24. I was in 24. Genesis 24:15. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother. So she was, let me see. Rebecca. Okay, this is her father. Oh yeah, this is her grandfather. And Abraham, his son. So Rebecca was Isaac's niece. Isaac was her uncle, basically. He was like unto his father. Her father, sorry. Because Abraham got Isaac and Nahor got Bethuel. So Isaac and Bethuel are cousins. They're equal on the family scale. And then he got a daughter, and that daughter was married unto Isaac and had children. Same thing with Jacob and sorry, Leah and Rachel. Same thing. They're family members too. Laban is the uncle. Sorry, is the brother of Rebekah, which makes him the uncle of Jacob, and then therefore those two daughters of Laban is his What was that again? Damn. Cousins? Is he? No, I don't know. Yeah, something you can figure it out for yourself. If I really don't want to like break my head with that one. But anyway, let me go on. I know what it is. Like, is it or uncle or cousin? One of those two. One of those two. Because because Isaac is the uncle of her. So what would that make him of them? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that deep in that there, but I know that it is allowed. Until this day it is allowed. I know actually people that actually slept with their have children with their cousin, but it was not known that they were cousins, and then they found out. It often happens like that, and then when they find out, it's too late. But then I could comfort them with the scriptures, like, here, you don't worry, you didn't do anything. Nothing bad, you know. It's biblical what you just did. Anyway, so all things, sorry, all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. Meaning, it is lawful to do that, but it doesn't benefit you, especially in these days. They're gonna be like, I'm my sister, cousin, sister, brother, uncle, because they're the devil, so they do filthy stuff. They sleep with them hillbillies and stuff like that. They sleep with them rednecks. They sleep with sisters and stuff like that. But the Esau has made all of that evil now, and then all good is made. All evil is made good. For example, in America, you are allowed for not just America, Europe too, and Australia, I think too. But America is like top gear. Like they just go overboard with it. They really nosy in other people's relationships. That's why I use them as an example for this case. For this example, in America, you are not allowed to marry two wives, but you are allowed to marry a dog. You are allowed to marry a same gender and stuff like that. Canada too. Canada. Legally speaking, marrying a dog is not recognized in any country of the Caucasus. Try that shit in the Arab. Go do that shit right there in the open. Look, we know that them Arabs over there in the other Arab country, they fuck camels. We know that. But go to the other ones that really believe in they're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna set your ass on fire if they find out. But among them, their elites, they do filthy stuff. But they can't touch them though. It's just like this. Everybody and their mama know Jeffrey Epstein and his clique. What you gonna do about it then? Huh? Are you gonna put him to jail? A lot of people believe in 9/11 was an inside job. Okay, cool. Let's say it really was. I know it was. But anyway, let's say you got the proof. I seen proof. Anyway, who going to jail today? Ain't nobody going to jail, my man. You gonna end up missing, just like this girl over here. Just like this girl over here. And she was saying she was blessed and all over suicide. All over suicide. All over social media. I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. She kept on saying it. Here. Virginia Guthrie, father, insists his daughter did not die by suicide. Well, what you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do shit. They are not in trouble as other men. This guy was fucking her. Raping her, actually. On a traffic type tip. On a traffic tip, sex traffic. He ain't here. They stopped him. The Metropolitan Police has rejected calls to launch an investigation into Prince Andrew. This was a long time ago. After the release of court documents relating to a late child sex offender, the late child sex offender, fucking bullshit. He was a fucking child trafficker. Anyway, they're trying to minimize their criminal activities by, giving them this little low level thing. Anyway, Jeffrey Epstein, he's more than that. Child sex offender. What? Anyway. The rejects calls to what? Met rejects calls. Okay, cool. Whatever. No investigation into Prince Andrew. Metro police. What is it? Metropolitan? Okay. Whatever. Met police. Whatever that thing. Metropolitan. I can't pronounce this word. Anyway, so right. This thing. Yeah. They ain't doing it, man. You think you can lock them up? Really? Okay. Once we get that power, then we gonna be able to do stuff to you. Just like how that king was about to kill Esther, but the Most High was no, you can't do that. Well, anyway, so yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah. The father says it wasn't a suicide. Okay, what are you gonna do about it? Here, the McAfee tattoo. He also put a tattoo where it says here on his Twitter account, he said, oh shit, I can't read what it says right there. It's too blurry. Oh, this one is the Twitter. Getting subtle messages from U.S. Okay. Getting subtle messages from U.S. officials saying, in effect, we're coming for you, McAfee. We're going to kill yourself. I got a tattoo today just in case. If I suicide myself, I didn't. I was whacked. Check my right arm. And how did he die? How did he die? Yeah, cause of death. What was his cause of death? Filtha! There was another one too. Clinton advisor. He was shot with a shotgun and hung from a tree. Oh man, that shit was funny as hell when I read that one. That was just hilarious. Ain't nothing funnier than this one. It's not funnier. This is Gary Webb. Funny as in they don't even try to cover up. That's why that's funny. Death. What happened to him? Okay, let me read. Webb was found dead in his Carmichael home on December 10th, 2004 with what? With 2 gunshot wounds to the head. His death was ruled a suicide. It's suicide. This is suicide. What? Yep. He killed himself. It didn't work the first time, so he shot himself again in the head. Bam! Ain't that funny? That's laughable to me. Here you have another one. Shotgun discovered near body of former Clinton aide Mark Middleton. So what happened? So it says here, heifer ranch. That look like a sacrifice shit to me. Baal, right here, the Baal heifer. Tobit 1:6. Now all the tribes which together revolted, and the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal. What is the heifer? Well, that's this. The golden calf. Nowadays you have here Wall Street, yeah. Here. You have the golden calf here. Well, it's bronze now, anyway. And then you have the little girl child sacrifice right here in front of it. They call her the fearless girl. Ain't no your mama. Ain't no way a parent would let loose their children in front of a raging bull unless that parent is a child sacrificer. Then the parent would love for that child to be right there. But this is what they worship. And here in the Netherlands, you have the Oscars. The Netherlands Oscars. Here. The Golden Calf Awards. Film Festival. Netherlands Film Festival. They have the Golden Calf here. Nominees for Golden Calf in 2024 are revealed. Film bonds. See? They got the Golden Calf as an award. This is their form of an Oscar here in the Netherlands. Well, they're having fun, ain't it? Right? Isn't it? Isn't it funny? Who are these people again? They ain't hiding. They ain't hiding. They ain't scared. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna arrest them? Are you gonna arrest them? That's why we're waiting for the Heavenly Father. Once he get that power, he'll give that power. Then it's over. I want to be a cop. Call me a Galaxy Ranger. I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them my cop moves. A dirty cop, but I'm dirty as the same color as the earth I was born from, created from. Not dirty as in filthy, like them. I'm gonna be a dirt cop. Anyway, so it says here. So he was hung. It says a shotgun was discovered near the body of former Clinton aide with links to Jeffrey Epstein. Woo-wee. Why did he die again? I don't know. I have no idea. There's no connection whatsoever. Who died by suicide last year, despite initial reports to the contrary, officials said this week. A new set of documents obtained by the Daily Mail stated that the Stroger 12-gauge 12-gauge Colt shotgun was 30 feet from the body of Mark Middleton when he was found dead on Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas, whatever. Here, this is what I want. The initial papers, written by Sergeant Keenan Carter, also detailed the lengths Middleton, 59, went to ensure his suicide attempt was successful by standing on a bench and tying an electric cord around his neck before finally shooting himself in the chest. Did you get that? This is just hilarious to me. He shot himself with a shotgun while hanging himself. Wow. I don't know what to say. And this is the shotgun. How you gonna shoot yourself, boy? You can't. You can't shoot yourself. Maybe he did it with his toes, his tippy toes. He could have did it with his toes then. Yeah, that's highly unlikely, my man. They're playing with you. But then again, what are you going to do? Are you going to arrest the people that you think did it? Let's say you have the proof. Let's say you really have the footage of them setting that all up. Are you going to release it? Did it come from you? I ain't even worried about that. We need to focus on Yahweh Bashem Ashai. He's going to take care of all that. Let them smoke each other. We just know, like, damn, that's what they're doing to each other. How much more do you think they're doing to our people behind the scenes? Maybe you haven't noticed, but then they're missing. All of these are missing. Over 60,000 of them. More than that. Missing Jake daughter, women, and children. Nearly 40% of those who have disappeared often are Israelites. Here, more than 60,000 Israelite women and girls are missing in the U.S. That's just the one that they decide to mention. Nearly 100,000 women of color went missing in 2020. I wonder why. Because everybody was on that lockdown. You ain't going nowhere. So now when you on the street trying to go do your job, snatch your ass up. Ain't nobody really seeing you. Everybody's scared inside. You know, so they had a field work in 2020. I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. And the Native Americans been going through that even before the corona thing. Yeah, this one is 7,000, but thousands of missing and murdered natives. That's more than that, man. They snatching them up too. They having protests like, hey, they're trying to silence me and stuff like that. You're missing and murdered. This don't make the news. Why would they? I mean, it is your enemy, however, so why the hell would they do that? It's just stupid. It's a stupid question. Why are they not reporting these things? Why do you think, doofus? Do you think they love you? It's just ridiculous, man. You have a lot of Jacob descendants that actually really ask stupid questions, like stupid stuff like, how come they don't teach this in school? Why would they? It is your enemy. Why would they teach you certain things? It just baffles me. Like, why are you asking that dumbass question? How about that? You know, when you see a video on YouTube, they look at the comment section. How come they don't teach this in schools? Why would they? Amazing. Anyway, bolted the door after. And Tamar, 2 Samuel 13:19. And Tamar put ashes on her head, and rent her garments of diverse colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. She put ashes on her head as a sign of mourning. Eh? Is that much? Okay. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, had Amnon thy brother been with thee? Did he do that to you? But hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. Basically, don't worry about it. He's your brother. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. So she stayed with him. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very wroth. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. He was playing cool. He didn't show him hatred. No, he wanted him to be on, not have his guards up. And it came to pass after 2 full years, he kept it. And Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal Hazor, which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons. Wait. Right, verse 23. Oh yeah, 2 years, yeah. So 2 full years. Right, going on. Sorry, and it says here, which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's son. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold, now thy servant had sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech thee, and his servants go with thy servant. And the king said to Absalom, nay, my son, let us not all now go, lest we be chargeable unto thee. Basically, lest we be a burden unto you. And he pressed him He kept on asking. Howbeit he would not go, but blessed him. He was like, nah, I'll bless you, you can go. Then said Absalom, if not, I pray thee, let my brother Amnon go with thee. Go with us. And the king said unto him, why should he go with thee? Why you want him? But Absalom pressed him, that he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not. Have not I commanded you? Be courageous, and be valiant. And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man got him up upon his mule and fled. They was like, what the hell is going on? Everybody running. And it came to pass, while they were in the way, that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom had slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. Then the king arose and tare his garment, which is another sign of mourning, also putting ashes upon the head, and lay it on the earth. Ezra did this in the book of Ezra chapter 9. He also tare his garment, and Ezra also ripped his hair out of his head and beard as a sign of mourning also. And you need to be really strong to do that, I'll tell you that. Not just with the mental pain, but literally ripping the hair out of your head. Man, we're not strong enough to do that one right now. And all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. So they did it too. And Jonadab, the son of Shimei, David's brother, answered and said, let not my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's sons, for Amnon only is dead. He knew, because he knew he knew what Absalom wanted to do to him. For by the appointment of Absalom, this had been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. So he waited 2 years. He waited 2 years to get him, and he got him. But what was that? That was the result of the curse that the Heavenly Father put on the family of David. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me by breaking my law. So 33. Now therefore, let not my lord the king take the thing to his heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead, for only Amnon is dead. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lifted up his head and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hillside behind him. And Jonadab said unto the king, behold, the king's sons come, as thy servant said, so it is. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of speaking, that behold, the king's sons came, and lifted up their voice and wept. And the king also and all his servants wept very sore. But Absalom fled, and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur. And David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur, and was there 3 years. So what did he do there? Well, he went to his mother's side of the family, as you can see here. 2 Samuel 3:3. And King David, his second son, was Eliab. You can read the first 2 and 1. You will see. Of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite, which is a Judite. Wow. And the third, Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. So he had a child with our enemy, because they are enemies. Joshua 13 shows you that. Joshua 13 shows you that. I think I put it here. Yeah. So you had these Geshurites. Where was it? Sorry. Here. You had this Geshuri, which was Canaan. These were Canaanites. Geshurites that were Canaanites. And then you had these Geshurites and Mahites that were in the land of Aram. These are the descendants of Nahor. I still can't figure out which this one is. I thought I knew it, but I think these are then therefore Aram, and these were called Aram. Just like how Abraham is called Assyrian because he came from that region, Syria, which is Aram. Mesopotamia, that whole region of the land of Shinar is also the land of Aram. Job, he was also in the land of Aram. Here, Job was also in the land of Aram, but Job is an Israelite. Job, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And where is Uz? Well, Genesis 10 here. Genesis 10 and 23. And the children of Aram, which is Syria. Yeah, this is Syria. His firstborn was Uz, and Hul, and Geter, and Mash. So the land of Uz is in the land of Aram. So Job was in the land of Aram. And when it says here, for example, father Syrian, Deuteronomy 26, 5, it says here, Deuteronomy 26 and 5, it says, and thou shalt speak and say before Yahweh thy power, a Syrian ready to perish as my father. This is Abraham. He was called a Syrian, but he's not from the bloodline of Aram. Because if you read this here, it says here, and thou shalt say before Yahweh thy power, here, Hebrew 7:6-1. It says here, Aram. Aramya. It says here, Aramya. Here, a thing or person from Syria or Aram. Yeah, he was in the region of Aram. He's not from the bloodline of Aram. As you can see here, Genesis chapter 10. Did I put it here? No, I didn't put it there. Okay. Did I put it here then? No? Okay. Genesis 10. I think 23. Right, 23 here. So 22, the children of Shem. Elam is his firstborn. And Ashur, which later the Caucasus changed into Assyria. Just like how he changed Mizraim into Egypt. He did that. And then you have Ashur. Arphaxad. This is the bloodline of Abraham. And Lud and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz and Hul, and Geter, or Geter, however you, I'll put tomato, I don't know. And Mash, or Mash, potato, tomato again. Okay, so Arphaxad begot Salah and then Eber. And then through Eber went to Peleg. And you can find that here. Here. Here goes the bloodline. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, which is Hebrew, or Ibar. That's where the name comes from. Eber, Hebrew. The English you would say Hebrew. Whatever. But in the Hebrew you would say Ibar. You know. Ibar, just like this. That's it. Ibar. Peleg. Reu. Segur. Nahor. Terah. Abraham. Abram. The same as Abraham. And then, you know, right. So that's the bloodline. So clearly he does not come from Aram, because Aram was here. But he is called an Aram because he was from that region. Just like how you have Obed-Edom the Hittite. No, it wasn't Obed-Edom, sorry. It was... yeah, Uriah the Hittite, but there was another one. Shit, I forgot. Wait. Damn. The Gittite. Here, Obed-Edom the Gittite. Now, Obed-Edom is a Levite. And it is then therefore mentioned that he is in the realm of, he was in that region over there, born there. Oh shit, which one was it again? Wait. It's mentioned in, what, First Chronicles? First Chronicles 15, let me see something. First Chronicles 15. The Gittite is Gath. It's Gath. Damn, where is it again? Gath. No. Then it is maybe 26. Let me see something. Wow, I don't think it's here. Maybe, no, I think it's 15 then. Wow. Okay, the last one then. Made a mistake. Here, Joshua 21. Here, Gath Rimon. So that Levite Obed Adam or Obed Edom, as it's called in the English. He was from Gath Rimon. He was from Gath Rimon because he's a Levite, and that is where he comes from. And then they called him Obed the Gittite. Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the other one was Merari. He came from... so this one came from Kohath, and the other one came from Merari. Right, but they're Levites. But he was called Obed-Edom the Gittite. Not Hittite, Gittite. So that's that. Because he was from that region, they called him a Gittite. Like Simon the Canaanite in the New Testament. He's not a Canaanite. He came from that region. So they called him a Canaanite. Right. So that's that part. So, wow. Sorry. So Absalom, he fled to his mother's house. His mother's family's house, household, whatever. And so he fled to there, and it would look then therefore like this here. You have the Geshurites here, and these are the Machites, which is Genesis 22. These are the descendants of Nahor, Machites. This one I'm not sure. I'm looking. I didn't study it, but I tried to study it, but I can't. I was like, huh? Where did they come from? I don't know. So these one might be Aram. I don't know. They are called Aramites, but then again, so is Abraham. So yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure of this. It's not a big deal. Just know that they're not Israelites. We know that. We had wars with them. And Joshua 13 shows you that they are our enemies. Nevertheless, the children of Israel expelled not the Geshurites and the Machites, but the Geshurites and the Machites dwell among the Israelites unto this day. And that is here. We didn't kick them out. We were supposed to, but we didn't kick them out. So therefore, they pulled a fast one on us once that time came, and they fucked us up. But yeah, that's just how it is, man. Once we get that power, we gonna show them, And they look like Arabs nowadays, but they're not Arabs. They look like Arabs, like the people in Syria. These people are not Arabs. They look like them. They're not Arabs. And when I look at them, I don't see Arabs. Arabs have a different face. You see? Well, I don't know if you see it, but they look different. But they kind of look alike. It's just like how the Asiatic people look alike. Sometimes you could see it's Korean, sometimes you could see it's Japanese, sometimes Chinese and stuff like that. Even the Japhetic people, but they're brown Asiatic people. And by the way, India is also in Asia. So not just Chinese and Japanese are Asians. Asian is a region. It's not a people. But a lot of people associate the word Asians with Chinese and Japanese and stuff like that. And also Vietnamese and Indonesians and stuff like that. They do not associate India with Asia. I don't either. But yeah, I just know that they're in Asia. But yeah, these are then therefore Arabs. Of course, you have different shades of them. And these are Syria people, which is Aram. They kind of look like Arabs from time to time. See? That's because they're on a Muslim type tip flag. These are the ones that are in UK, and if I was to see these two, I would think it's Arabs. Because some of them are Muslim too, but not all of them. If I was to look at these, if I was to look at these, you know what I'm saying, I would look at them like, you kind of caucus. But yeah, they don't look Arab to me. They look more like a bunch of white people. But anyway, this one too. These ones popping up too, blue eyes and stuff like that, which is not a common thing among them. Unless they start to go, if you go north, then they start mixing with Esau, of course. And yeah, you have then therefore also you have the Assyrian people, which when you look at them, sometimes they got the black hair like the East Indians. So they also have a different thing in them. But then again, you have these popping up also, so you don't know what the hell's going on over there. But sometimes they look East Indian. They're gonna have that, I don't know, it's weird. They're gonna have that Arab East Indian look. Like this guy. Thick black beard, if they grow their beard at least. But they do have these type of faces, like the thick here again, the thick black beard. And like the I don't know, it's almost East Indian, but it's not. You know, just faces, just faces. I wouldn't recognize them all the time, but if they have their beard, it makes it easier because their beard is thick and black, and their faces look kind of East Indian, but just really white, pale, like this one. Of course, you have browner skinned ones. This one looked like a Turk, like an Amalekite that went to Islam. But anyway, enough of this. So basically, you have that there. So yeah. Let me leave that, man. I just looked at the time. I was like, shit. Kept on talking. You know what? I'm gonna have to cut it in two. Then I didn't want to cut it in two. That's why I kept on talking, but I lost track of time. Anyway, I'll put these links in the description box so you can check it out for yourself if you have the time. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Shalom.